Yo, I'm Drew, and I go through a lot of CALI packs. I have tried many brands in my time, and I make a lot of YouTube shorts right now on lots of different CALI packs. So I wanted to make a new CALI brand tier list. The first time I made this video was 5 years ago, and the last time I made this video was 2 years ago. And since those last 2 years, it has changed so crazy. We have 50 brands on this tier list. This might be quite a long video because I want to explain what I like and don't like about the brand as I put them on the tier list as well. So that way, you can learn about some new brands as well, or even just know my opinion on a brand that you know already. So without further ado, I feel like we should just get into this. Okay, so this is how I have it set up. We have A+, A, B, C, D, and F. It has to be really bad to get an F, and it has to be absolutely amazing, like unbelievable, some of the best flour you will ever have in your life to be in A+. So we have a lot of brands here. Oh my god, I just see what's first up on here as well. That is crazy. First up on this, we're going to do it in order just like this, as much as I can remember to do it in order. Lemon Up. Lemon Up by Mr. Cushington. This is a super expensive one. This is one of the ones that costs like 1,000 a zip. It is absolutely crazy. Now I say it's crazy, I mean the price. The flour itself, like, crazily enough, I'm not a massive fan of lemon tree, and it's definitely like some sort of lemon tree cross or pheno or something, but it actually comes out kind of nice to me. It's not sickly, it doesn't have that like horrible terp that makes you kind of want to throw up, but in general, for the price, I feel like if it wasn't 1,000 a zip, I would probably put it in A+. I think because of the price, I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's really good though, it's super good quality, really nice stuff, but the price is absolutely outrageous. Okay, 167 Exotics. We just went through this on some of the shorts. The brand owner was not happy with some of my reviews, but that's because they have terrible product. If you have terrible product, then I'm gonna do a terrible review for it, you know what I mean? So, bro, straight up, this goes in F tier. This is dead. This is like some repackaged mids that they sell for like 60 or 3.5. I've actually still got this one to review at some point, so look out for the YouTube short on this one. Alien Labs. These guys had a big fall off where the quality wasn't amazing maybe a couple years ago. Also a very faked brand, so it's kind of hard to know whether that fall off was even legit, but either way, you don't see too much of it over here in Europe, especially not anymore, and especially not the like crazy batches. The thing is, I would say in the US, it probably is like an A+ tier brand. Now, for me, I would say my experience of it recently has been more somewhere between like an A and a B tier. I don't think it's quite up there with the quality of Lemon Up. It's also commercial, but just because it's commercial doesn't mean it's bad. You can have really good commercial, but I feel like I'm gonna put it in B tier. It probably will go up to A tier maybe the next time I do one of these tier lists, but just in the last couple years, from stuff that I've tried, the stuff I've actually had access to here in Europe, I can only talk about my experiences, I'll put it in B tier. Oh god, next up we got Be Easy, the king of repackaging LCG. I mean, look, at least he's honest. Like, I feel like if he wasn't honest and he just did that and was trying to claim that he's on like some crazy new wave, it would be F tier straight away. But at least he's honest. At least Be Easy actually goes around telling people that he just repackages LCG. So you know what? For the honesty, I think this goes into D tier. Backpack Boys. Again, this is like another situation with Alien Labs, right? Where they were amazing. Then they had one of the biggest fall-offs of all time. And then they were so heavily faked that you couldn't really tell if the fall-off was even them or not. But they are also a brand that's like super stuck in the lemon cherry game. Like, they were big in the lemon cherry game at the very beginning, and I feel like they like riding that out now. And I just feel like it needs some sort of a switch up. Now, obviously on top of that, they had the whole pesticide situation. The pesticide situation wasn't with their flour, to my knowledge, it was with the vapes. And I would assume that they outsourced the vapes, and that probably wasn't a problem with their flour. I would say right now, Backpack Boys is like a solid C tier. I don't think it quite comes up to Alien Labs. I don't think it's dead or anything. I think they do some really nice flour sometimes. I just think it needs some sort of like a push and revival to bring it back to like its former glory. It might even be hard with some of the, reputation that came, what got lost from obviously that LA Times article. Again, for me, I'm pretty sure it was just the vapes, so I don't see why that would affect the flour and like what you think about the flour, but at the same time, it's still not a great situation to have, right? I would love to speak to Backpack Boys about that as well, and maybe do like a video together. Maybe we can like clear the air on that, but we'll have to see. Blueprint. You know what? I think Blueprint is going to be our first A+ tier. That's actually crazy that we've managed to go through all of the tiers in the first bits of Bud. That's actually crazy, but I think Blueprint is the first bit of A+. It is a bit more commercial than others, but it's not massively commercial, right? Everything I've ever had from Blueprint has been amazing. The consistency has been amazing. Like the quality is amazing. The terps are amazing. Everything comes through great. The type of stuff that they do is kind of biscotti orientated. A lot of their crosses are with biscotti or with 41. Those are all of the best stuff that they do. Absolutely lovely. Blueprint, well deserved of an A+ spot. Next up, Burning Clean. Okay, this is a brand that's like a Cali brand, but I only ever see this in the Netherlands. I don't think I've seen it in the UK ever. I don't even think I've ever seen anyone in Cali with it. It seems like it's some sort of brand that's just made to send over to the Netherlands, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. There can be people who, maybe you're from the Netherlands, you go out to Cali, you find some amazing flour, you make a brand, and you try and bring that amazing flour to the Netherlands. Like, absolutely, I can understand that. So I'm kind of in two minds between A and B tier, but realistically, I've put Lemon Up in A tier. It definitely doesn't come up to Lemon Up standards for sure. I think it's definitely got to be B tier. Damn, the next one is actually so hard as well. Burning Rope Farms. They've had a bit of a come up recently, actually, because I feel like, no lie, do you guys feel me on this? But I feel like most Burning Rope that I've had in the last couple years has just always been Black Ash. Never really comes out with any terps. The collabs with other people and the rosin, usually great. This year, however, they've been having a strong comeback. Some good pre-rolls, some good flour. That Larry OG is amazing, super, super nice OG, but it definitely doesn't come up to like Lemon Up standards. I think it's probably at about B tier, to be honest. I'd put them in B tier, but I feel like they could have a come up this year. They could maybe get themselves into A tier. It's kind of crazy that the only thing we've actually got in A tier right now is not even something that I personally like. I can just understand how good quality it is. Oh, Caliber Exotics. This is like, I think it's like a UK brand of sorts where it's like, you know, somebody has access to really good flour, so they brand it up and then bring it to UK market. From everything that I have seen from them, it has usually been pretty on point. I feel like, again, I'm being super harsh with this list because I feel like they possibly could be in A tier. However, the last batch of Crazy that I had was a bit inconsistent. But is that being a bit harsh? Because they do pride themselves on being, you know, a really, really good brand and having some amazing flour. But then even that Zilicious wasn't amazing recently. Like, look, I feel like if the last 2-3 months hadn't happened, they would have been in A tier, no question. But the last 2 months, I think have let them down. Also, I'm not doing these in any order, like here isn't any better than over here. I'm just putting them in. So I think I'm just gonna put B tier. And bearing in mind, a B tier is good. A B tier is absolutely good. Even C tier is still good. Okay, Connected. Huge fall off from Connected. Used to be the kings again of like Biscotti, 41, some of the originators of some of that stuff, but massive fall off. They are now the same brand as Alien Labs, run by the same people, so I would assume as Alien Labs is kind of having their come up again, Connected is having their come up again. A lot of my friends in Cali tell me that they're having a big come up, but I haven't had any of it, so I have to base it based on my personal experiences, which I would put Connected in a C tier. Cookies, I feel like is exactly the same. It's a good brand, they have some good flour, but they have really been falling off recently. But the only thing with Cookies is I have not been hearing that they're pulling back. Look, I can only go based on my experiences, and from my experience, especially recently in the last year, I'm going to put them in C tier. Deep East. Oh, crazily enough, I feel like Deep East have also had quite a big fall off in the last kind of year. They did that nice Opal, and they've done a couple Zope crosses, but Zope in and of itself has kind of fallen off. Like, that's what they got big for, having their crazy Zope. But now everyone's got Zope. You can get Zope for cheap as anything, you know. It's basically like an LCG how cheap you can get Zope for. So look, like what was once an A tier brand, I feel like I don't even know if I'd put it, it's like halfway between a B and a C tier. I'm gonna put it in B tier because I don't think it's quite fallen off to C tier yet. But if they don't do something special in the next like couple months, year, then maybe the next time I make this video, they might go down. Oh, Doja being on a come up. I would put Doja as an A tier brand. I don't think it's quite A+ tier because there is the occasional batch that comes through on some stuff that isn't like, you know, unbelievable godlike flour that's so consistent that it changes everything. But it is consistent enough that it is really, really nice, especially for the price that you get it for and how consistently you can get it and how often you can get it everywhere. Doja definitely by far A tier brand. Don Murpho's an interesting one, because if you'd asked me this like a year ago, I would have straight put them D tier. Same as Be Easy, just LCG repackagers. They're a repackaging company. They ain't a bud company. But I don't even know if that's actually true. I think they just do a lot of like LCG genetics. So either way, it's like an LCG company. However, the last couple months, they have been bringing out some heat. They've been bringing out stuff that isn't LCG. They even did an amazing Skittles. So I would even say they've gone all the way from D tier to B tier. Straight up. And to be honest, the quality of those ones, they would be in A tier, absolutely. But they still do loads of LCGs, and that to me brings you down to B tier. Elephant's Growth. This one is like another crazy expensive one. It's the one I did that YouTube short on that cost $350 for 7 Gs. Crazy prices. Look, the quality of the flower is A+ tier. Absolutely A+ tier, but it's the same situation with Lemon Up, where the brand itself, because it's so expensive for kind of no reason, just pure hype, it kind of has to go into A tier. Even though, like I said, the quality of the flower, absolutely A+ tier, for sure. Exotic 710. I feel like Exotic 710 is also a pretty solid B tier. I feel like they've had a lot of flower that's A+ tier and A tier, but I would say that the consistency isn't unbelievably amazing, and it's not always available. I'm kind of torn between A and B, because to be honest, the good experiences I've had with Exotic 710 so outweigh the bad experiences, and comparing it to Alien Labs and all the stuff I've got in B, I would say they're definitely more consistent and consistently have better stuff. So you know what, I'm gonna go with A tier, especially because Doja's up here as well. I'd say it's definitely on like the lower part of A tier, but it's still A tier for sure. Fidel's, no question, straight into A tier. Again, probably would even be A+ tier, but I don't think the flower quality is like quite up to that like crazy blueprint consistent quality, but the quality is really good. If I was doing this in a ranking, this would be like at the very top of A tier. Heavy Loads, bro. Again, it's just an LCG company. It's kind of like Don Murpho's, where they do sometimes have stuff that isn't LCG, but they do so much LCG, and it's not like they've been trying to focus on like, yeah, let's get out of this LCG like rut that we're in. Like, now they still do that stuff. I haven't even seen a lot of Heavy Loads in the last 6 months, I would say. But there is that one thing they do, I forget what it is. The front of the pack has like that duck diving into the coins and stuff. I think that's what's on the pack. If I'm thinking correctly, it's a really nice Skittles. I don't think it's quite on like a D tier, like straight LCG repackaged like level, but I also don't think it's quite at the Don Murpho's level. I'm gonna put it C tier with Backpack Boys Connected Cookies. Oh, High Tech. This is an interesting one, because High Tech is who grow like a lot of bud. They also do the like Super Dope collab. That's with like Fear of Booth and High Tech. That is what Super Dope is. But either way, High Tech is a pretty consistent brand. I would say on like a commercial level, they are probably above Alien Labs, right? Like on how good the flower is for how commercial it is and how often you can get it and how good the brand's rep is. I would say High Tech is probably an A tier brand. High Volume Exotics. This is not the right logo, but I got somebody else to make this tier list. I just gave them a whole list of stuff. So High Volume Exotics is a New York brand. I've met the owner before. Super lovely person, super lovely brand. They actually care about the flower. I wouldn't quite say it's A level. It's not on this level of quality, but it's definitely B level. They do a lot of nice soap stuff. High Mart. I just did a review on the Girl Scout cookies that they do. I had that McDonald's pack at some point. That was by High Mart, and it was 2 different LCGs and a really dead Mac. Bro, their stuff is awful. This is an F brand. I have never seen anything good from them. They are a packaging only company. You pay for the packaging with them. Oh, John Doe Supply Co. I've never had anything bad from John Doe Supply Co. I do think that they do have like a lot of like mid-range stuff. Like my personal experience, I'd be putting them in an A+, but I don't have that much experience with them. I've only tried like 2 or 3 things from them, so I can't really justify putting it in A+, so I'm gonna put it in A. Oh, Johnny Danko. This is also a really tough one for A or A+. Have I ever had a single bit of bad flower from Johnny Danko? Maybe one time I didn't like the Skittles one they did, but other than that, like, everything is amazing from Johnny Danko. I'm gonna have to put them in A tier. I'm gonna have to put them in A tier, especially because they're not growing that stuff themselves as well, right? So I feel like they have to be at A tier. They'd be at like the top of the A tier. Jungle Boys, I feel like, is the perfect example of a B tier brand. They have some flour that is amazing at like the top of A tier quality. I don't think they ever really have any flour that's like A+ tier, but they also have a lot of flour that is just completely dead that you would never, ever get. So for that reason, I'm putting them in B tier. CALI Farms. This is an interesting one because they disappeared. They disappeared for years, and then they came back recently. The first drop was really good, but then the second drop wasn't so good. I'm gonna also put them in B tier because, again, they have a lot of flour that's like really good A tier flour, a lot of flour that's B tier, but then nothing that is A+ tier. So we'll go CALI Farms. These guys are known for like OGs. They're known for Venom OG, the Emperor OG, the Biker Kush. Like, that is what they're known for. Karma Cartel with the Zitos as well on here, but mainly Karma Cartel we'll be talking about. Karma Cartel is a very consistent brand. They do all sorts of stuff. They don't sort of specify in one flavor profile. They have been like dabbling in some of the Live and Soil stuff recently. They've kind of been on that sample jar wave recently as well. I would say, this is also a really tough one between A and B. I would say just purely based on this year, I'm going to put them in B because this is supposed to be like, you know, an updated tier list. I don't think it's quite in the A tier right now. If this was the beginning of the year, I'd be saying, yeah, A tier all day long, but maybe some of the recent stuff, mainly because they've been testing stuff. They've been testing stuff, doing a lot of samples, and when you test stuff and do a lot of samples, you end up going through a lot of stuff that doesn't end up being too good. So, you know, I guess that is a good thing in the long run, but I'm going to put it in B tier. Alright, Cash Tree Mason. This is another crazy expensive brand, like the Elephant's Growth Lemon Up. Goes for $800 for a zip in Cali. Absolutely outrageous. But it's not good. Like, at least the other ones, they're actually good. But the Cash Tree Masons, the one I tried anyway was dead. Like, it's not good. I did not like it. You should definitely watch my full review on it that I made. It's like called the most expensive flower in the world. I don't think it's quite this dead. I don't think it's quite F tier dead. It's pretty dead, but I would say it's probably like D tier dead. LA Family Farms. This is like a new one that's been coming about. I see a lot of hype on it, but like from me personally, I haven't had anything too amazing from them. I've had maybe one bit of flour from them that I thought was pretty good, and I've had a couple that I thought was mediocre. I'm gonna put them on C tier for the time being, but again, maybe they get updated with everything that I've been hearing. They should be higher than that, but from my experience, I'm putting them C tier. The ones I tried was like the Perm Scotty and a couple other permanent marker crosses. Life is not great. This is a strange one because, again, if you'd asked me a year ago, this would have been like A tier, even A+ tier. Crazy good quality. And the guy's actually recently had his brand stolen. Apparently he's been working with another person, and the other person took all his genetics and basically stole the brand off him and has stolen all his bag designs and is putting out all the flour himself now. So what was once a A+ A tier brand, bro, the quality has gone downhill so much. But I'm gonna put this in D tier. CALI had some drama recently. I'm not gonna comment on that here because it's not really my place to say. I'm just gonna talk about the quality of the flour and the consistency. I'm gonna put them in B tier because they focus on everything, not anything specific. I've had some stuff recently from them that is like A+ tier flour, but again, there's some stuff that they bring out that just is like, why would you drop that? So, like, you know, although it can sometimes be A+, just on like, you know, the brand level itself, like where I'd put it against these other ones, Lemon Up, Blueprint, you know, being harsh here, I'm putting it B tier. Mr. Gelati, again, I just don't think it has the same hype. It was A tier, but I feel like now it's a B tier, and they haven't done anything like that Fabuloso, like anything on that level for a while, couple of years now. So, and they do a lot of LCG stuff, which is just like a personal thing for me. I don't rate that. So I'm gonna put them in B tier for now. Hopefully next time we do one of these lists, they'll be higher up. Nature Boys, I haven't actually tried anything from them in like the last year, but they were usually pretty consistent. Again, I don't know if they would be up here with like Lemon Up, Doja, and like, you know, I don't think they were quite on that level. I never had anything quality wise that I feel like I put them on the same level as like a C tier or like the Heavy Loads, and like, I don't know, I feel like it's somewhere between a B and a C, but I'll give Nature Boys the benefit of the doubt and I'll say B tier because I only hear good things about the brand these days. So and everything that I remember about them, I would definitely put them on the same level with like CALI, Mr. Gelati for sure. Pure and Proper, this is that expensive Skittles that I went through recently, crazy expensive, which the Skittles itself is probably A or even A+ tier, but the price is absolutely outrageous. So look, we'll put it in A tier, but bro, like that price is just absolutely crazy. accuracy. You know what you guys have been waiting for though? My 420,000 subscriber special is finally gonna happen. QC farms, bruv, I probably would have been putting them A+, you know? But this last, like, couple drops with that fairy liquid in it, it's unfortunately bringing them down to A tier. Still really, really good though. And again, these guys, they focus on kind of everything, no specific flavor profiles, but the best thing that they do is that Z's. This one's very hard to see, but this is a rain trees jar. Again, I feel like these guys would have been A tier, but have gone down to B tier since last time. They haven't been as active of a brand either, but I would still definitely put them on this level with CALI X and Mr. Gelati. Oh, Rare Exotics. I don't think this is the right logo, but really nice. They do that Yuzu Zushimi, that one that's like a Sherbanga cross that I always forget the name of. That Sour Densuki that they released recently is absolutely amazing. You know what? I'm going to put them in A tier, but I almost feel like they deserve A+ tier, but they just haven't been around long enough. If they had been around longer and like the quality is always going to be that good, then I would put them A+, but for now, we're going to put them A tier. Rimikusu, I feel like is also a solid B tier, belongs along with the CALI X stuff. They do sometimes do some amazing flower, but it doesn't always hit the mark, and especially for like that A tier or A+, definitely wouldn't go into A+. Could potentially go into A with all their flower, but if we have to say could potentially go into A with all their flower, that means they go in B tier. Scumbags? This has to go with Be Easy, right? It's literally a rebranding LCG brand. It's the exact same as Be Easy. They get random LCGs, they make a cool pack for it, and then they sell it for way more. Seed Junkie. Look, I know Seed Junkie has a lot of drama around them as well, but look, I'm basing this based on the flower quality, and they are also consistently A+ tier. Some of the best genetics in the game, some of the best ever flower ever that I've ever had has come from Seed Junkie. Just, bro, and it's crazy to be good at making genetics and then also actually be good at like getting flower out and having your own packs and having your own brand. Most people don't do both, but they do both extremely well. Shabinskis. They've been coming back a lot recently. I had some not so good experience with them like a couple years ago, but recently, really, really good. They've been innovating a lot. They did those nice new pre-rolls. I think Shabinski is going to go in B tier, but they would have been in C probably last time, I think. So yeah, I think they've gone up a space to B. Summer. Probably one of the biggest fall-offs of all time. I think it's going to be straight D tier. I can't remember any flower that I've had anytime recently that wouldn't go into D tier from Summer. Super dope, nice and consistent, really good quality. I definitely don't think it belongs in B tier. Not quite A+ tier. I think a nice solid A tier brand. The best thing Super Dope does is that Mega Z Blue. I really like the Mega Z Blue. Ted's Buds. I don't think this is quite as bad as like an LCG rebrand company, because I don't think they rebrand a lot of stuff. I think they do grow some stuff, but still a lot of it is LCG and a lot of it isn't unbelievable quality. They do have some good flower, but it's not anything to write home about. I'd probably put them in C tier. I'm not going to put them quite down on here. Tenko. I feel like it's a pretty solid A tier, to be honest. Like, nothing beats their Blue Zushi. Blue Zushi could be a brand in and of itself that we could put on this tier and split them away from Tenko. Obviously, there are a couple things that they do which doesn't quite hit that mark, but I still feel them as a brand overall and the consistency of the stuff they do really, really amazingly, which comes out to A+ tier flower. They definitely deserve the A spot for sure. Turp Hogs, I would say, is also solid A. I definitely have had some not amazing batches of Skittles over a length of time that they have been around, but they've been around for so long doing such consistent stuff. So many people get their Skittles from Turp Hogs. I feel like we couldn't not put them up here in A tier. Toad Venom, 100% A+ tier. Every bit of Toad Venom I've ever had has been amazing. It is kind of like its own thing, I guess. I don't like anything else by those same people, like what they do like a Crocodile Tears, and they do something else. Everything else I've had from them is dead. That's why the Toad Venom is its own thing. It's kind of its own brand in and of itself. It has its own prices and stuff, and it goes crazy. That is really, really nice. It's an animal face cross Sin Mints, I believe. To me, it comes out kind of wedding cakey. I did a review and I said that it was wedding cakey, and then so many people went around saying that it was actually a wedding cake cross. That's not what I meant. I just meant that it was, it tastes wedding cakey. But to me, it reminds me of like original wedding cake. It is super, super nice. Yeah, really amazing. White Ashes, another one I'm going to put in A+ tier for sure. White Ashes goes absolutely hard. I don't think this is actually the right logo, but White Ashes, they do that Make OG Great Again pack. They also do something called Zest. Absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 flower that you could not go wrong with. Now, Wizard Trees. I don't think they're quite A+ tier, but I definitely think they're A tier. They have a lot of nice flour, very consistent. Could possibly get into A+ tier as well if they bring out some flour that like proper hits that mark. But for now, I'd say A tier. And you know what? We have one brand left, which is Zartix, and they do a couple things, but I think the best thing they do is that blue guava. It's kind of like a Gelato 33 side of Runts and LCG Turp. I don't know if it's quite A tier, but I think it's a solid B tier, belongs with a lot of these other brands that we've got here. And that's the list. So out of all of this list, is there anything that you think I put in totally the wrong place? Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite or least favorite brand is. I would love to know. And if you made it to this part of the video, you should probably subscribe. You're probably not subscribed. You probably think you are, but you just get recommended everything every time. And if you're at this point in the video, you should probably subscribe because you obviously liked the video, right? I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully you enjoy the short reviews to come as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one. Peace.